Today, we're going to be making a San Mai Chef's knife or carving knife. So here's our 3 pieces of steel. This one's 15N20, 15N20, and 1095. So that's our handle. Put a link up there for that video of making this handle or dyeing the wood and stabilizing it. But this time we're going to be making and welding, forge welding these 3 pieces together. So we've sanded them down, cleaned them up a little bit as I wiped some dust off. They were clean, but we're gonna put them all together just like this, and then we're gonna weld all these edges up so that no air can get in. We definitely have too much steel, but I'll probably use some for another project in the future. So I'll go weld those up real quick and be right back. All right, we got our welds on. If it will focus right, we just went all the way around the edge, top, bottom, put a handle on it, and basically sealed it up so no air can get in there. And now we'll go forge. We're getting close. We're gonna go a little hotter, and then we're gonna try to forge weld it. Here's our forged steel. We've cut it off there at the end. If you look close, you can kind of see the layers. Hopefully it's all forged and sealed together. We're gonna grind the edges and check, make sure the forge and everything, the weld set. All right, we've checked our lines here. Don't worry about that. That's not actually something, but it looks pretty good. There's a couple spots right on the edge. However, when we look at both sides, it looks like the weld took. So we're gonna cut out our shape. Then we can start bevels, handle, all sorts of stuff. Get into the knife. So there we go. So we got our edges smoothing out. We got the profile. Put some dicum on it and some scribe lines, if you can see that. That's my lovely forging skills. Same on the other side. Then we got our, if you can see it, we got our scribe line right there in the middle. So now we're gonna put our bevels on. So we're going to start off with some 60 grit, and we're going to sand it down. We got some good scratches in there, so I like to use just a little block. Helps keeps everything flat. And a little WD-40. Windex also works. But the Windex we have at the moment has vinegar in it, so it smells terrible. So I'd rather use WD-40. But then we just go back and forth. All right, we got our rough sanding in. It's not perfect yet, but now we're going to start making the handle. We're going to try to fit this piece on right here. Hopefully that will work out. And after that, we'll have a little black spacer. And then this guy will go on. So, but we're going to start drilling the holes, measuring this out, drawing our lines on it so we can drill our hole and fit it on the blade. So we got it all filed out. Looks pretty good for the most part. Then we sanded off our lines, and now we're gonna fit on this last little bit. So hopefully it works out right, but just gonna tap it on. And we're close, but not quite. We have just a tiny little gap on both sides. So, well, as we were sliding it back off, it decided to split. So, guess we're gonna start again. I'll just make another one real quick. Same thing. Drill your holes, file it, tap it on. And hopefully it doesn't break this time. We got it on there. Nice and tight. Good fit. And we've started on basically similar process. Draw our lines on there if you can see that. Drill our hole in the middle. And we're just trying to get that last little bit so we can drill our hole and our pin and get everything to line up how we want, how it's supposed to. So we kind of went quick there, but we have this. We talked about that. Here's the broken one. Now we're going to put a spacer in and another spacer. Black, white. I need one more black one, and then going like this. So there's our fit up. I'll go cut out that last little bit of spacer, and then we're going to drill our hole for our pin right here so everything stays nice and lined up, and we can start shaping the handle. There we go. We got our hole drilled through the steel. Everything's nice, fit up tight there. And we squared it off a little bit so that everything's the same. And now we're going to shape our handle. Put it through its first thermal cycle. There's a little bit of scaling, but now we're about to put it through its second, and then I think we're good to go in with the heat treat. So the blade has now been heat treated and tempered. We put it in the oven for 2 hours, 2.5 hours at 400 degrees. That's how you get this golden color here, but now we're just going to start hand sanding. Okay, we got it all sanded up to 500. Looks like it's, you can still see some of the marks in there. We might need to get better sandpaper, maybe go to 1,000. If you look, the light hits it just right. You can see the change in the color of the blade or the steel, kind of right there. You can see the mark, but now we're gonna etch it, put the logo on. There's the handle. We'll finish that in a minute, but I want to tape this up, so we're gonna etch the handle on now. All right, we've been sanding for a while, got it polished up, engraved the logo on. Now we just need to finish up this handle. So at the moment, the blue is not attached, so we're gonna epoxy that on there. So we drew some lines. I started sanding, then realized I hadn't videoed anything, so we drew just our lines here to help us make sure everything's symmetrical right there above the hole, same side, and we rounded out the bottom a little bit. Now we're gonna bring that corner down. So we took it up to 800 grit, and now we're gonna put it in our ferric chloride. Oops. Here we go. Woo. So we're gonna go rinse it off real quick, and then we'll hit it with some steel wool. So we got it here rinsed off a little bit. Just gonna pat it dry. Then we're gonna take our let me grab it. Our 4/0 steel wool, and we're going to clean it up a little bit with that. Kind of just back and forth, little micro scratches and stuff in it. It will help the coffee etch set the colors better. So we're just cleaning it up. You don't need to worry too much. Get those oxides off, some of the oxides off. So we mixed up some instant coffee in here. Got it going, and now they've kind of cleaned off the blade a little bit. We're gonna dip it in here and let it sit for a little while. So about every 5-10 minutes or so, I come and I wipe it off. And then I'll go over it again with the steel wool and put it back in until we get the color we want. But we're getting close. The color looks good. The knife is great. The blade. So now we're going to glue it up. It's all glued up. We cut the pins off. Now we just need to finish sanding and sharpen the blade, and then we'll show you what it can do.